Assalamu alaikum. You are watching ELT streaming, and this is Fawzia Said. I am an educationist having 8+ years experience in teaching English language at various levels. So this platform will provide you to teach and learn English in a very exciting way, and we will discuss different aspects regarding ELT field and the problems students are facing. So you will enjoy and learn a lot from this platform. Let's start our today's lesson, that is about English language teaching and its importance. So first of all, we will discuss about the language learning. So when we talk about the use of language, it is for communicating information, thoughts, and ideas. So language is basically used for communications. You can communicate your thoughts, your ideas, and your feelings by the mean of language. So whenever you are going to learn a new language, it is very enjoyable and interesting skill. So language learning is a skill. So it enhances your cultural knowledge and also boosts your confidence and improve your critical thinking skills when you are going to learn English language. There are three top skills that comes to you. These are the open-mindedness, creativity and curiosity, and empathy. So people learn English for different purposes. So the main purposes I have taken for you people are the career, status, and commerce and trade. So all of you know about the importance of English language. First of all, we will discuss the definition of English language teaching. English language teaching, or ELT, can be defined as the practice and theory of learning and teaching English for the benefit of people whose first language is not English. So when your first language or the mother tongue is not English and you are going to learn English, so you learn different methods, practices, and the theory. This is under the term of ELT. So English language teaching, or ELT, refers to the activity and industry of teaching English to non-native speakers. In short, the British Councils has defined English language teaching as the activity and industry of teaching English to non-native speakers. Non-native speakers, those speakers who don't have English their first tongue, okay, first language. So why English? Now the question arises, why we learn English or why we teach English. So English is spoken by around 360 million people around the world and taught in over 118 countries, making it an incredibly useful language to learn. So it is the widely spread language that is spoken and understood by majority of the people in the world. English language learning will allow you to communicate effectively with people from all over the world, making traveling a lot easier and helping you to learn more about different cultures. So English is a lingua franca. Lingua franca, a language that is adopted as a common language between speakers and the other commodities whose native languages are different. So a common language that is used for business and trade and other communication is called lingua franca, and English is a lingua franca. It is a language of science, aviation, business, education and technology, research, computer language, diplomacy and tourism, media. So you have noticed that in all these fields, the universal language we use is English. Now come to the brief history of English language teaching. We cannot divide English language teaching into certain periods. Okay? So here, English language teaching can be divided into 4 phases. ये authentic नहीं है. Means के we cannot divide into periodically cases तरह से हैं. But the more specific division is here. That is the classical period 1750 to 1880, the reform period 1880 to 1920, the scientific period 1920 to 1970, and the communicative period, that is the 1970 to 2000 plus. So these are the 4 periods you can say about the history of English language teaching when we are talking to the background of English language teaching. So here it is divided into 2 stages, that is the modern language teaching in Europe, and this hierarchy is according to the European English language teaching. ठीक है, ये वहाँ के हिसाब से है. So first of all, modern English language in Europe, that is the 1750 to 1920. First of all, we will have a look on the classical period, that is the 1750 to 1880. The core concern to teach English is the emulating the teaching of classical languages, that those were Latin and French at that time. So associated method were the grammar translation method and the classical method, where you are going to repeat the vocabulary words and the people learn the language. Okay. Then come to the reform period, that is the 1880 to 1920. Here the core concern was teaching the spoken language. So first of all, you are going to teach different vocabulary words, new items in the language that is emerging, the new language English into Latin and all. So English basically is a mixture of different languages, that is the Latin and Greek and French. तो वो words जो emerge हो रहे थे पहले, तो उनको through grammar translation method drilling वो उनको सिखाया गया. Then the reform period 1880 to 1920. Here the focus is on the spoken language, that whatever you have learned, now you have to speak. So the English language is emerging in a way. So there are associated methods. Those were reform methods. These are the natural method, that you naturally learn the words and speak the words in a natural way. The Burles method and the direct method. Those were the methods in reform period. Now come to the next period of English language teaching, that is the scientific period. It lasts from 1920 to 1970. The core concerns were the scientific basis for teaching English as a language. So there were the methods which were associated with teaching English were the oral method, that was defined by the Palmer, the multiple line of approach, Palmer, the situational approach, Hornby, the oral approach, Price, and the audiolingual method. These were the methods by which English was taught in that second stage, that was the scientific period. The other method was, or the other period was, the communicative period, that was 1972 2000 plus. So the core concern were aiming for the real life communication. Now English has become the status of communication in the real life situations. ठीक है, वो एक ज़बान का उसने दर्जा ले लिया और वो communication के लिए everywhere where that was used. So associated teaching methods were the communicative language teaching and the task-based language teaching. That was the brief history of English language teaching. ठीक है, कैसे मेथड्स इमर्ज हुए, कैसे लैंग्वेज इमर्ज हुई और कैसे इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज टीचिंग की एक फील्ड बन गई. नाउ देयर आर मेनी स्टूडेंट्स हु आस्क्ड अबाउट द इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज एंड लिटरेचर, द डिफरेंस बिटवीन इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज एंड लिटरेचर. बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट्स का ये क्वेश्चन है कि MA इंग्लिश और BS इंग्लिश लिटरेचर और BS इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज आर दे सेम. ठीक है, so they are not same, they are different. Now come to the differences which language and literature have. Language implies any form of expression or communication by the living organism through arbitrary signals. ठीक है, आप लैंग्वेज यूज करते हैं कम्युनिकेशन के लिए डिफरेंट सिग्नल्स के थ्रू. ठीक है, वो रिटन फॉर्म में भी होते हैं, वो आपके साइंस भी होते हैं. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड लैंग्वेज, by which you can express your thoughts and feelings and ideas, and the main purpose is communication. Now literature refers to the body of the written or spoken composition of a specific kind on a particular topic. लेकिन literature जो है वो body of written work है, that is confined to written or spoken composition of any specific kind of work on a particular topic. So this is the basic difference of the definitions or the concept of language and literature. So language is always expressive. You are going to express your ideas, your feelings, your thoughts, whereas literature is imaginative. You always imagine about a certain incident, about a certain topic, and then you develop your ideas through your creativity, your imagination, and then you write down or communicate by speaking. That become the part of literature. System of sounds, structure, words, and grammatical rules. So language is a system of sounds, structures, words, and grammatical rules. Written works with intellectual thoughts and contemplations. ठीक है, लिटरेचर क्या है? रिटन वर्ड से इंटेलेक्चुअल थॉट्स का, और जब उसको आप कंपाइल करके एक जगह पे इकट्ठा करके उसको वर्दी बना देते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड द लिटरेचर. So language is a discourse that we communicate, we make certain dialogues to communicate, and literature is about life experiences. You experience certain things, you imagine certain things, and you write down as per your experiences. So that become the part of literature. Interaction between living organisms. So language is used to interact between living organisms, to communicate, to express. Literature is recreational and it is the revelation of facts and thoughts. ठीक है, इसमें फैक्ट्स भी आ जाते हैं whenever you are going to narrate your personal experiences, your life experiences with facts and figures, तो वो इसमें शामिल हो जाते हैं. Hope so that this difference which the students usually ask about the degree of BS English language or BS in English literature, so hope so it is clear now. ठीक है, कि लैंग्वेज क्या होती है और लिटरेचर क्या होता है और डिग्रीज में क्या डिफरेंस है. Now these are some major terms which we use in English language teaching, that is the ELT. Now ELT is divided into EMT, English as mother tongue, and EFL and ESL, English as foreign language and English as second language. Those who have the native speaker, who are the native speakers, they have English as a mother tongue. ठीक है, English उनकी mother tongue होती है. But in our scenarios where our mother tongue or the first language is not English, we take English or we learn English as EFL or ESL, English as a foreign language, and ESL, English as a second language. Now English as a foreign language or second language is further divided into two branches, that is the GE, General English, what we learn about for general purposes, and ESP, English for specific purposes, what we learn English for business, for medical sciences, for scientific research or anything for a specific purpose, तो हम उसको ESP के ज़मरे में लेकर आते हैं. Now ESP is further divided into three branches, that is EST, English as English for Science and Technology, EBE, English for Business and Economics, and ESS, English for Social Sciences. आगे से इनकी भी branches हैं. Now here you can see this tree, that is Hutchinson and Walter. Hutchinson and Walter in 1987 they have developed this tree, that is English for learning and communication, that is the language, and then you come to the language teaching. Here you can see English language ELT, and I have already told you that ELT is further divided into two, EMT, English as a mother tongue, and ESL and EFL, English as a foreign language and English as a second language. Then English as a second language is also divided into ESP and GE. So GE is that is the basic English which we learn for academic purposes, that is the primary, secondary level of English and tertiary adult English. And ESP is further divided into English for Science and Technology, English for Business and Economics, English for social sciences. ठीक है, then English for Science and Technology is further divided as EAP and EOP, English for academic purposes, whenever you are going to learn about science and research, so you use as English you take English as English for academic purposes, and when you are going to learn English for in the field of science and technologies for occupational purposes, that is called English for occupational purposes. वो आप उसमें फिर different branches आ जाती हैं कि आप English सीख रहे हैं इकोनॉमिक्स के लिए, ट्रेड के लिए, टेक्नीशियन की जो लैंग्वेज है वो सीख रहे हैं, मेडिकल साइंसेस सीख रहे हैं. तो these are the further divisions. You can look at this tree and you will understand how ELT has been divided into certain branches. Now we will discuss about the important abbreviations over here which we use in English language teaching. That is ELT, that is first is the English language teaching. EMT, English as a mother tongue. EFL, English as a foreign language. ESL, English as a second language. ESP, English for specific purposes. G is stand for General English. And G is further divided into primary, secondary, and tertiary English. EST, English for science and technology. EBE, English for business and economics. ESS, English for social sciences. EAP, English for academic purposes. EOP, English for occupational purposes. So these are some of the abbreviations which we use in English language teaching. This is for today, and inshallah in my next video we will discuss different aspects of ELT. Okay, we will discuss the language skills and the relevant concepts to ELT. So stay tuned and kindly take care of yourself and my channel as well. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz till the next video.